Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Social Saturday Chat Live. We are here for another great Saturday. Today is Saturday, May 2nd, 2026. And I'm here with my co-hosts, Joel and Martha. Mac will be joining us shortly. But today's conversation is going to be one centered around human-centered selling and how can we change conversations that convert without pressure. And so we're really going to focus on that today. But before we get started, let's do some introductions. I do want to welcome some people that have already joined us in the chat. It's great to see people already chatting away. Please make sure you ask your questions. We are going to add the link to join us on stage here soon. So feel free to join us on stage when we do. But Leslie Nidek, great to see you. Stephen Eng's already in the house. Kenny's here. Jairus as well. We have Jackie Hallberg. Good morning. Coach Carey. And Martha, of course, Martha's here. So, well, welcome everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Saturday. Like I said, today here outside of the Washington, D.C., Maryland area, it's 55, 60 degrees, but it's partly cloudy. So the sun's cracking through. Can't complain too much. And it has been a crazy week here, but overall, I'm excited to join you all. For those of you I've not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Felipe Cofino. I'm an HR executive for 25 plus years. I'm also a LinkedIn top voice and a founder of Cofino Consult Team. I'm also the author of Miranda and Max Backyard Adventures. Now, this wonderful book here is something that I've been very proud of. I'm also very excited because I just finished the second book of Brady and Lucky, the One-Eyed Cat, another backyard adventure. And with these books, as you all know, comes a QR code in the back that gives you a link to a cartoon video of those characters along with the song. And you also get a free coloring book. So just showing you how I can sell a little bit socially without putting a lot of pressure on there. So, if you do want the link, feel free to check out my link tree, or maybe I'll put it in the chat later on. But also, I think we always like to share fun facts here on the show. A fun fact is that I shared this shirt that my son made for me a few months ago, and he made this hand-drawn with bleach, and that was it. And there's some things like the Avengers, DC Comics, the Washington Commanders football team, the flag from Spain, the Star Trek Enterprise. But what I wanted to highlight was this right here. This is the Millennium Falcon, celebrating for all you Star Trek lovers, nerds, geeks, whatever you want to call yourselves. Be proud of it. It is going to be May the 4th tomorrow, which is a Star Wars holiday, I guess you want to call it. Instead of May the 4th be with you, or instead of saying May the Force be with you, they say May the 4th be with you. So I know we have a lot of people like Jay and a few other people that are Star Wars fans. Let us know if you are a Star Wars fan. And if you're a closet sci-fi fan, come out of the closet. Be proud of it. And I will say that in addition to it being May the Force Day, it's also my beautiful daughter's birthday tomorrow, which takes precedence over Star Wars. Sorry. But it is something that, so I'll be having a lot of fun tomorrow. But Martha, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing and fun fact.
Yeah, well, happy birthday to your beautiful daughter, Felipe. I know birthdays are so special. So we got to celebrate them. You're welcome. For friends that don't know me, I want to thank you all for joining us. Happy Saturday. Who I am the founder of Connect Impact Hub, where we're on a mission to end homelessness. And I am just started creating articles on LinkedIn, which I am loving it so much. I get to bring information of what I'm doing out on the field for you to maybe learn some new programs. So if there's something that you may be interested, send it my way and I'll do some research and I'll post about it. And today I am actually with Teddy. Come here, Teddy. Teddy's very mad at me right now because he's got neutered, and it's been a long couple of days, 2 days actually to be exact. So he's recuperating. Not a fun fact, but he's doing okay. And then the fun fact is I am been serving the state of Florida. I've been getting referrals for the unhoused community, which I'm really excited. And I'm learning a lot about different programs. And it's just been a pleasure to be able to serve more folks. I am getting very busy, but a lot of great things are coming out of this. I will be passing it back. Oh, I'm going to pass it over to Joel now for his introduction. Welcome, brother.
Thank you, Martha. It was sunny in the UK, hence the very casual dress tonight. We don't normally get weather like this, but it's nice when it happens. And for those of you who don't know me, and most of you in the audience probably do know me, so I'll keep this short and sweet. I'm Joel. I run a neurodiverse company based around helping change the way the world sees people like me and other non-linear thinking minds as well. My passion is also music, so I'm an artist as well, and I write my own stuff. And fun fact this week is that I'm now looking for guests for season 4. We just had season 3 and restarted the season of my podcast. Findings about to party. Used to stream it on LinkedIn until stuff happened. So looking for guests. So if you want to come up and share your story about neurodiversity, or if you have your own, if you are dealing with it yourself, then feel free to join us. Over to Felipe before the rest of us join in.
Well, thank you, Joel. And, I hope you all, if you're not connected with Joel and Martha, you really need to make sure you check out their profiles. They're doing some amazing work. Over the years I've known them, they have just continued to grow and shine and make a huge impact in the respective areas that they're working in. So check them out. Joel, you look like you're ready to just hit the drums and go at it right now. I don't know why, but so let's dive into this. And thank you to everyone for all the birthday wishes to Miranda, which again, I will plug shamelessly. It is Miranda from this book is my daughter's birthday is tomorrow. So if you really want to wish her a happy birthday, feel free to buy the book. I felt like that was a little bit of Catholic guilt thrown in there too. Sorry about that. Just my upbringing. All right. So let's talk about the topic that you all came to join. So we're talking about, human-centered selling. And what does that look like? Does anyone, when you hear human-centered selling, what is one word that comes to mind? Put it in the chat and let me know what word comes to mind when you think about that. Because human-centered selling is not a common phrase that's been heard a lot over the years. For me, I learned about it, but it wasn't called human-centered selling. But when I learned this concept, God, it's been 25 years ago. It was because I had a regional VP from corporate come down, and they came to my office and they said, "Hey, let me ask you a recruitment question. When do you start recruiting for a job?" And I said, "When the job becomes available." He's like, "Nope, that's wrong. You start recruiting for it the moment you fill it." And I go, "What do you mean?" And he says, "Start building those relationships with people that you think that might be good for the job or the company in the future. Get to know them as a person. Don't go after them because you need them or need something from them. Get to know them. They may not be the right fit. They may be a great person, but as you get to know them, they might not be the right fit, and that's okay. But you now have a new connection, and it's benefited both the company and you one way or the other. And I never thought about it that way. And that's where I really started my LinkedIn journey for y'all. That was, of building relationships and really thinking about how can I make it more human-centered? Because we've all gotten that DM. Hey, do you have 5 minutes to talk to you about this topic? Or, hey, you know what? I would love to pick your brain about this. Or, hey, I had a job opening that meets your skills. I'd love to talk to you about it and have you apply. Like, somebody's coming at you. They don't even know you. And they sound so confident that, they know what you need. That's not human-centered. That's just selling. That's cold call selling. And that's something that has never worked for me. And I will say that over the years of recruitment, anyone who's out there as a recruiter knows, which I didn't realize when I got into recruitment, we are selling. We're selling the job. We're selling the company. We're selling the team. We're selling the benefits. We're selling the career growth. But if I don't believe in what I'm selling, I can't do it. There are other people that can lie through their teeth to sell you something. And that's not the kind of person I want to be. I want to be more human-centered. So that's my philosophy on it, my take on it. I'm going to hand it over to Martha over here wait, Martha's over here. Sorry, right? I always feel that reversed.
Yes, you're
so
right.
Over
to
Martha to share her thoughts, and then we'll go to Joel.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just reading some of the comments too. I'm seeing a lot of people everyone's putting in people. Elaine just said learning more about people, building relationships with them, and providing solutions, directing them to resources. Absolutely, Elaine. Great to see you also. That's my jam. I'm not big on I've been meeting a lot of people, like coffee chats. Last month I did a lot of that. And first, the importance of creating that relationship, getting to know them, and then maybe, down the road, maybe we can collaborate on something, right? It doesn't have to involve you selling me a product. There's maybe ways we can collaborate. How can we do that? I mean, I've seen people do that too, Felipe and Joel and friends in the audience, where they've provided a service, and then in return, the other person provides a service too. Also, did you want? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, I literally just had that little example of someone literally bartered, saying, hey, you know what? I will provide you this service for free if you do your service for me for free. And I'm like, you know what? It's a win-win. And that literally just happened yesterday, and that had to do with a project I'm working on. So, and that is because of the relationship I have that with person. It's not a stranger. It's someone who I've known for like 3 years. I trust them. I know that they're not going to let me down. And that's the value of that human-centered selling, because we started off as business associates.
Mm-hmm.
The relationship came later.
Yeah. And my last thought on this is I'm also not a fan of people selling. If I want to buy a product, I'll buy it. I do promote on my LinkedIn profile. But if you're sending me a DM and you're telling me post this, I feel that's more demanding. I'm not a fan of that. So if you feel it in your heart to share. But I don't also want to be pressured to share if I don't want to, But I know this may be sensitive, but I just sharing out loud. Don't come for me, please. I'm gonna pass it over to Joel. Oh, go ahead.
No. But don't take advantage of somebody. That's putting someone on the spot and making them feel like they owe you and that you're entitled to now take advantage of their time, and that's not fair. That's that kind of selling that to me is, it's not, I wouldn't say it's unethical, it's just unprofessional and rude. Sorry, Joel. Yeah. Over to you, Joel.
Oh, you're fine, Felipe. I pretty much, when I first started this wonderful journey of social media and LinkedIn, I had no clue what I was doing. I still don't on some other platforms, including YouTube. But all I've been told throughout my entire life is be myself, and until recently, I had no idea what that even means, because let's face it, I've not got any experience in selling. Yet somehow I do manage to do that on a regular basis with myself, unintentionally. So each time I tell people about myself and to use the term selling myself, I find it. I if someone asked me, "What did you do? How did you do that?" I could say to you, "I have no idea." But for warm relationships, what I learned from Mac is don't have sell yourself, build human connection, and then let your person you're talking to come to you, and instead of the other way around. And that is what I learned in about 4 years so far on active LinkedIn. Felipe.
Well, and one thing I love about your journey, and it's so true, a lot of people don't realize that they start selling and they don't realize that they're actually selling because they're just promoting what they're passionate about, what they believe in, what they've worked hard in. But that is a selling skill, and I think that's important. I love the conversations down there. Heart-centered conversations and building trust and understanding of each other that David Pushkin shared. That is huge because that trust, that's what's going to keep that relationship going. And let's tie this into business. Do you want someone that is loyal and trusts you enough to stay with you during your high times and your difficult times? Or are you looking for a fair weathered fan that's going to be like, oh, well, you seem to be going down a little bit. I'm going to go over here to this company because they just seem to have their act together and I don't have time for your stuff. Some people are going to be like that. They're movers and shakers. I don't have time for inefficiencies. I'm going to go from here to there. There are other people that are going to stay loyal, and that loyalty gets rewarded a lot. And you see more and more people starting to see the value of being rewarded with that loyalty. But it can't be rewarded if you're not trying to build those relationships. I'll give you an example. Y'all know about Copper. I love my dog Copper. I care about what he eats. We had found this food that was very just high nutrition, very healthy. He wasn't a big fan of it, and it was also very expensive. And it was nothing, no big story behind it. We tried this brand, which I will promote here, I don't care, called Farmer's Dog. And they might be the commercial, but if it's not them, it's the similar commercial of that commercial where you see someone put their dog food in the refrigerator, and then a friend comes over like, you have dog food in the refrigerator? That's stupid. And they're like, get out of my house. Get out of my house. If you think my dog's health is stupid, get out of my house. And that's the whole concept. It's fresh, homegrown food that is healthy for them. We went to that because it was actually cheaper than what we were feeding him. Here's the thing that blew me away. Well, two things blew me away. One, Copper loved it, and he was a grazer, and he finished his food all at once. But the company texted us beforehand saying, hey, your food's on the way. And it was a text, not an email. It should be here by this time. Let us know that you got it and let us know if you have any questions, and let us know how Copper likes it. The next day, I said, hey, we got the food. Thank you. Like, so how did Copper like it? Did he enjoy it? It was like, he ate it all. And like, listen, if this happens or this happens, here's some suggestions. Every suggestion I've made to them, they instantaneously made that change for me. And they are still checking in. Like, how's he like the flavors? Do you want to try different flavors? Are you happy with it? And a lot of times it's just like, want to see how things are going. And they remember conversations, obviously. Now, this is building that relationship with me now. What I didn't realize is how big that company was. This is not a mom and pop's company, you all. This is the equivalent of like Purina One reaching out to you and trying to sit there, and maybe Purina One's a little bit bigger, but they are pretty big. And for them to take the time to care, that's unique when people get that big. So that's something that's an important part of human-centered selling, saying, oh, when we get too big, we just can't afford the time to do that thing. Well, Farmer's Dog is proving you all wrong. That's just one example I have. Martha, Joel, any examples that you all have? Joel, you said you had a lot to talk about this topic. And I know that Martha had to step away from it. So I'm going to hand it over to you because you said you had a lot to say about this.
Yes, I do. And with Bailey, when you mentioned copper, he came to me with just a regular branded food, dry, went off it instantly, and I swapped him. I swapped him to. I don't know whether you've got this brand in the US. If it is, it's premium, called Lily's Kitchen, and he's been instantly a different dog, and that branding is nice, but being say I get emails from Lily's Kitchen, again communicating like what you've done, but they're the difference. It's not tailored food, but they still do it, and they also give go the extra mile, and I go with companies that do that. I go with companies that I can relate to, that I actually find someone and I actually talk to them. Every single time I phone customer support, I say, please, what is your name? I want to deal with you in the future. Otherwise, I'll be sent around the houses and you already know me. I already know you. Let's do this together. And having that connection really is very important within any sort of life, really.
Absolutely. And I think that's where, I'm curious. What I want to hear is I want to hear stories from you all about who do you still shop with or who do you still do business with because of that relationship specifically. I'm putting the link in the comments as we speak. I'll make sure I put them in all the areas to make sure I'm not missing anything here. But and Martha, when you have a story, you have time to come back. Let us know.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories of? Go ahead.
Yeah, stories like where I shop. Sorry.
Stories of where, because of the relationship you have with the people that work there, you keep on going back because you enjoy that relationship. It makes you feel valued, or you just like seeing them because you build a relationship with them.
Oh yeah, like the coffee shop, for example. Yes, I have the, I'm not picky with my coffee, but you do establish a relationship with, if you have a favorite coffee shop that you go to, and there's a spot that I like to go to here in the town that I grew up in called Seaside. There is a little coffee shop there, and they have live music. Everything about it is just so my style, and I just sit, work, and sip my coffee for $6, and you get free Wi-Fi, and they're really kind people. So yeah, it makes a difference. And of course, I like big companies such as Target, Amazon, right? If you order a product and you're not happy with it, or maybe like I've ordered fruits from Target and the fruit came spoiled, they're so, they return the product right away. There's no issues. It's all about customer service. That's key. Customer service. And, this is going to bring up another topic. Sorry, this is what I'm really passionate about. When it comes, because I've been dealing with a lot of different organizations through what I do, serving the unhoused community. I'm also supporting the low-income families. And that customer service, you are the face. I don't care what role you work in an organization. If you're answering that call, your voice is what's the introduction to the organization.
No, and that's so true. It makes me think of the Maya Angelou quote. People will forget what you said. They'll forget what you they'll forget what you said. They'll forget how you said it, but they won't forget how you made them feel. And that is the key of customer service, is making that experience memorable. I'll tell you, the mom and pops coffee shops have a great job of building relationships. The mom and pops sushi restaurant that's been here for 27 years, they remember our anniversary when we went into one time 10 years ago, and they still remember it to this day. Those things resonate with us. They build that loyalty. But the one that big names, big brands, it's kind of harder for them, right? Well, Starbucks. You all know I like my coffee. I have a Starbucks everywhere. Like you can throw a rock and hit a Starbucks around here. But there's one Starbucks in particular that I've always been loyal to, and I don't mind going to a different coffee shop. But when I walk in there, it's like Cheers. The show Cheers, when they called out Norm, like Norm, when he went, like, it's Felipe. Hey, how are you doing? House Copper, do you want a pup cup? And I'm like, no, thanks, not today. He's not with me. They know every time I've mentioned stuff about me, they know. One time I walked in there and they're like, so we all have a bet as to what you do for a living. So here are our guesses of what you do for a living. None of them got it right. They had like, okay, well, you're a scientist? Like, no. You're an attorney? No. You're a doctor? Not even close. Okay, you're a pharmacist? No. And so it was funny to see them guessing all these different things. But that's the kind of like fun conversations that you don't expect when you walk into a business. So that's why I think it's going that extra mile when you remember something about somebody that they shared with you. I'm not saying be nosy and ask them about their business, but if Martha shared with me, it's like, oh my God, I'm so nervous about this, interview I'm going on or this first date I'm going on. The next time you see her, hey, how did that first date, that first interview go? Oh my God, you remember that? Actually went really well. They're going to remember you because, wow, you caught them off guard by remembering something that they didn't expect you to remember. Joel, how about you? You got any fun stories that about relationships of loyalty where you keep on going back to a certain customer or place or restaurant or whatever, or even airline?
I wouldn't call it a fun story, but they're the local phone store which fixes everything. So it fixes everything from computers to phones and from everything. And I went in there countless times. Didn't know the guy at all. Started to get conversation with him, and then a few literally about 2 or 3 visits later, I started getting discounts. I started getting discounts and deals from the guy behind the counter. This is what I like about independent stores. Chains, I find, when you grow a business, I find that every single business loses the same thing, and you can't do anything about it. So you go from knowing every single one of your co-workers and employees to who's that person? Where is he now? I mean, you kind of lose the entire culture the bigger you get. And the companies which I've gotten to know doesn't do that. They do keep the culture. They remember me. I can go there 10 years later and they say, Joel, how are you? It must say, I haven't seen you in so long, your phone must still be working.
Well, and that's amazing.
Oh
Martha, go ahead.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Joel. Go ahead, Felipe. You were first. Go ahead.
No,
I wanted to share
first,
something.
Please.
Joel just brought something up because it's so interesting. So I haven't been at the hospital in I don't know how many years. I was there for almost 10 years in the emergency room. And every time my family goes in for services, they always ask about me. So it makes me wonder, and I don't go there because I'm like, I don't want my friends to see me as a patient, but it's all just a mental thing. But long story short, it's like you've made an impression in someone's life, and so each of you who are here, you may have a place you go to, maybe the library, maybe the park, I don't know, a coffee shop. You've made an impression in someone's life. I love what you just said, Joel. Thank you for bringing that up.
And it's so important to think about that things because, when a lot of times we don't even realize that we left an impression on someone's life, or they don't realize that they left an impression on our life. And it's one of those things where I think it's always nice to tell that person. Like I told the HR director that inspired me, that he was really the one that inspired me to get in HR. I waited 30 years to tell him why, It was a professional relationship, but here's the thing: those kind of memories, like you said, stick with you 10 years later. And I think that when we do put in that effort, like I try to associate certain things with people to remember their names. I worked in the hotel industry where I've had 100 employees up to 500 employees in one hotel. When I was just on an interview, they were saying, "Oh, well, we have like 250 employees here. It might be it's really hard to get to know everyone's name." Like I actually pride myself. I knew 500 employees' names and their families, and I learned that in 2.5 years. So they're like, "How?" I was like, "Honestly, association. The dog lovers. I know who the dog lovers are because I associate with that. People have unique stories. Maybe people had funky hair, and you remember those things. But when you learn about somebody unique, I always ask somebody like, tell me something unique about you that other people don't always know that you like to share. That helps me remember them, but it also helps them remember me, that I asked them about something unique. When you're doing that in business, people are more likely to talk about you when you're not around, which is supporting your brand, it's supporting your company. It's giving, most likely showing your mission in action. And I think that's the business part that people forget about, is that value of no matter how big you are, like you said, it's a lot harder to do it the bigger you are. But Hyatt Hotels has over 80,000 employees. They make you feel special. Most hotel industries, especially the upscales, they make you feel special and they're big. They understand it and they made it happen. So the big companies that choose not to, it's because they chose not to. All right, Martha, you have something to say, and I'll let you introduce Gregory. I think you're on mute, Martha.
No, this is beautiful. I'm going to post Maya Angelou's quote. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. I love that quote. Sorry that I kind of messed it up a little bit, but I'm going to share it in the comment. It just brought me back there. Thank you so much.
Thank you for repeating it correctly. I know I messed up the second part of that, so I appreciate you recording that. All right, go ahead.
So our next speaker, welcome, Gregory. It looks like where are you? It looks like you're at a stadium, possibly.
Yes, welcome to Princess Auto Stadium, where there is a Football Canada men's national flag football team selection camp practice going on in the stadium. Princess Auto Stadium is the home of the 12-time CFL, Canadian Football League Grey Cup champions Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The stadium has a design for people who follow the NFL. Think of the design of the Seattle Seahawks Stadium in Seattle, Washington, but in terms of the noise inside the stadium, it could get as loud as Seattle plus the stadium that the Kansas City Chiefs play in combined. It is a stadium that is stadium capacity is around 32,000 people that could seat inside the stadium, and that's where I am situated right at this present time. What you said 5 or 10 minutes ago, Martha, really, I will say, inspired me to come up on stage, because I will say you could basically draw the intersectionality in regards to recruitment and talent acquisition and selection with the Canada Experience, which is basically a lost art at this present time at the time that we're in. It's because you as a recruiter or you as a talent acquisition person, you are also the face of not only your HR department, but as the company as well. So that's why I will say, to bring it back in regards to places that I like to shop, this is basically kind of like a seasonal type of a thing for me being here at Princess Auto Stadium, because I have at least 5 different ticket sales representatives that know me by name, and basically we have a rapport we have a rapport outside of being customer and representative du jour. For example, Carol Barrett, who won a highly prestigious CFL award, is still working here, and she knows me by name and knows my father by name, and always checks up in regards to see how I'm doing and how my father is doing anytime that I basically phone and stuff. So that's basically it is what it is in terms of a human-centered, because I think that we are losing that kind of lost art at this present time, especially with the rampant uptake in terms of automation and AI. And we need to be more. We need to get back to human type of connections and all that type of stuff, instead of what's seen on the screen du jour per se. So yeah.
You know, as you were talking, Gregory, I was thinking about the AI too. So I'm glad you brought that up. That human connection, that just you going to that stadium and you're seeing familiar faces, the safety aspect that you're feeling as well. Because if there's an emergency, you know there's someone there. I mean, I always think of it like that, the safety part. But I love your share. And Gregory, thank you for showing us a little video of where you're at. It's very cool to see that. I'm in California, you're in Canada, Philippe is in Maryland, and Joel is in the UK. So look at that, everyone. And I see we do have a couple friends also that joined us later here in the comments that I want to acknowledge also. So I like that we can see the comments. I don't know. I think Felipe, you froze.
Did I?
No,
You're
Martha.
froze.
What?
Martha froze for me.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm frozen.
Can you hear us, Martha?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You're good.
Maybe I'm the one that's frozen.
That's what Joel said.
No,
Okay.
no. All of you guys are good. You're good.
Okay.
So go ahead. You were say hi to some people that joined?
Yeah, I was just going to say a couple friends. Yeah, I see Dr. Kai's in the building. Welcome, Dr. Kai. Thank you for joining us. Meryl, Chasen, Jairus. I apologize if I mispronounced that. Jackie's in the building. Leslie Flowers is here with us. And I think I seen Coach K also. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And Bro Charlie Lewis. Thank you. I'll pass it back over to you, Felipe.
Okay. And, I see Lauren Sermon made it. Thank you. I know you had your son's game today. Hope he won. and so two of the things. Oh, and Jason Forehand's in the audience as well. It's great to see him. Thank you for joining us. And there was somebody else I wanted to highlight here. Why is this not letting me see? Oh, we have Elaine and Nick, and Dr. Vivian, Tom Cullen, Lauren, MD Abdur, and Christy Williams, and King Property, and Bright IGE. So thank you all for being in here. So going back to what Gregory was saying. So Gregory, I'm going to respectfully disagree on a few of the points you made, that the human-centric the human-centric approach is dead in human resources and recruitment. I say that because only for two reasons. One, because of my personal experiences, I still see it live and well in the good HR offices. The bad ones still do it poorly. They don't care. But with the AI has given those that were already doing human-centric type of work, it's giving them more time to do it. I'm no longer having to sit down with new hires, go through all their paperwork. I can send it to them ahead of time. They can get it pre-checked out. They can have questions answered through AI for them. And if those aren't good enough, they can reach out to me directly. But when they arrive at the work location, I'm fully present. I'm able to talk to them, engage them, and versus spending 2 hours going over paperwork and all this other stuff. I'm also able to show them things of how they can do things quicker, so we can spend more time having conversations and letting them ask questions about the workplace or about, just do's and don'ts. Those things, like even like one of the things that used to get cut out a lot was the tour of the company, because we don't have time for the tour, so we'll just cut that out. That was the first thing. That's one of the most valuable things, because it kind of is like, let me show you around your new home. Let me tell you what works, what doesn't work. Let me show you some of the tricks. This handle's a little bit loose. Let me introduce you to some people that live here. Those things are huge. But if you don't get the tour, but with AI, we're becoming more efficient. Now,
true, but
if you're
AI could be used in that type of way, but when it's used in terms of excessive and basically used as a crush, that's where I will say
that's called the HR lazy person. That's what I'm saying. For every person that you say is out there not being human centric, there's one or two out there who are, and that's what I am seeing more and more. People, especially now, if anything, I think it's increased because AI has scared HR people that weren't as human centric, and they're worried about losing their jobs. And the only thing they have to battle AI with is their human skills. Joel, do you want to say something?
I put your phone over for a minute, but yeah, I'm glad you mentioned AI, because I've been seeing a lot of that taking over in music as well. I'm like, it's already pushing people out of jobs. So why would you destroy one of the human creative avenues known on the planet? And music. I mean, now you've got Suno, you've got YouTube, you've got every single AI company trying to be essentially a band, and the AI, that's just being lazy. That's more lazy than picking up a computer and dumping any beats into any program. I mean, that means I prefer people-centered stuff. So
But
yes, AI for me should be only. I've said this on several occasions with other people. AI for me should be only to be using touching up the rounding the edges. And,
no, it should be used as a tool, absolutely. But here's the thing. I'm one of those things where I invite scenarios into my head of what could happen, even if they're not scenarios I like. I invite them thinking, okay, what would I do differently if that was the scenario? When I'm thinking about your scenario of music, what I think about is, well, what is AI not going to be able to do? What's Suno not going to be able to do? Well, they're not going to be able to perform live concerts. They're not going to be able to perform live concerts, engage with people. They're not going to be able to teach people how to play instruments one-on-one. There's a lot of value that I think is eventually it's going to separate. It's like the people who still like hardback paper books versus the people who like the Kindle. You're going to have a divide. It's and I think that lean into, oh, I want to use AI for music. Great, go ahead and do it. Oh, I don't want to use AI for music. I want AI to help me with some ideas and brainstorm, because the creative new ideas, AI is not programmed to create new ideas. It's just spitting out old ideas and reusing them for you. The human mind still has that advantage. So that's why when I say, yeah, I'm not saying that AI is not doing the things, but I'm not going to let AI replace me. One of the things when I was just on an interview, they said, what's one thing that you think that's going to stand out? I was like, well, I like to get out and walk around in the morning when I get here, after lunch, and before I leave, to interact with the staff, the employees, see what everyone's doing. Because not everyone wants to come to HR, right? Can AI do that? No. So that's what I think is what can you lean into? I mean, Joel, playing concerts, playing the drums, teaching kids, the AI is not able to do that today. There's no robots in there that are able to do that, and with the compassion that you do. Can you imagine going to a concert and not having the lead singer yelling back to the audience and getting engaged? That's we need that. We need that kind of feeling. Can you imagine going to an AI game, Gregory, versus an in-person game? No, I would never want. If I'm gonna watch an AI game, I'm not gonna go to a stadium. I'm gonna watch it on TV. But in-person game, oh hell yeah!
Because we're not that. We're the reason why we go to an in-person game, because we are not there in regards to AI sporting events such as hockey, such as football, such as baseball, because we are not at that infancy of that capability. We might be there when all of us are dead and buried, and then we will have basically robots basically playing on here as of now 110-yard football field, but at that juncture, it's not. We don't. That stuff is not happening as we speak. I if anybody have seen any type of AI robotic sporting events professionally, let me know, because I would love to see it. Basically, so yeah.
And those probably could be more violent games because there's not going to be human injuries, and people might enjoy that. Bring back the gladiator games with robots. Who knows that? So the last analogy I want to give here is this. Think about this. When the microwave was invented, people's like, that's not cooking. Microwave's been around for what, 40 years or however long now. People still appreciate cooking on the stove, and you have people that will only cook in the microwave and people who do both. So what I'm saying is I don't think that it's only going to replace the people who let it replace. People who only cook in the microwave, they lost their cooking skills. They chose that's what they wanted to do. So I think we're going to have that divide. That's just how I think about it when I try to invite it into my brain, process it, and see what are some scenarios that could play out. What are your all's thoughts? Tell us in the comments. We got 13 minutes until the end of the show. Let us know if anybody else wants to come up on stage. Martha, did you want to add something?
Yeah. Yeah, as you were just talking to Felipe, I was thinking about, because I am looking at incorporating AI into what I do with serving the community. And this idea was brought up a couple of maybe 2 weeks ago almost, with my school, when they brought in a AI specialist out of San Mateo, California. And basically, I think I shared this last weekend, is agents are on the rise. What are agents? Agents are your personal assistants. And so they introduced a program to me called Raplet. And it's something that I'm kind of looking into, because a lot of people who are running businesses are using this program as their personal assistant. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to come up with a plan of action on how to incorporate AI into serving humanity. So more of an empowerment tool, because we do have a lot of people that are against it. Only 28% of people in the US are actively using AI. So there's
I think that's 28% of women, actually. The men's a little bit higher.
Oh, do you know what the men is?
The men's in the 40s. I want to say it's 48 or 49, but the women feel like, besides there are multiple reasons, the one that I thought was interesting was the harm it's doing to the environment, which I need to do more research about that and how their fear of how it could harm the environment, I guess.
Yeah, we do I see a question from Leslie in the comments. There's a couple of things going on in the comments with AI. Thank you. She wants to know, how do you vet the AI experts? Seems like not enough time to become an expert in this.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. The word expert is so loosely used in this world sometimes. I think calling yourself an AI specialist is great, but something that is continuously evolving as fast as something like technology, I don't think anyone can call themselves an expert per se. If they are, I would look at reviews. I would look for recommendations. I would ask for people that have used them in your industry to talk to them as a reference, because there is no such thing. It's too early on to really have that kind of expertise. But are people learning it fast? Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, speaking about the person that we spoke with, he's dived into it. He's running a business where that's all they do is AI. They attend conferences, so everything is AI related. So they're updated on what's happening, and then they're teaching people outside of them on how to use AI. So I'm not an AI expert. I'm still clueless to a lot of things, but we are still learning this whole software and how it works.
Oh, I just helped a friend of mine. They were doing thank you cards for their wedding, and they were trying to say, we don't have the energy just to even think about what we want to say in every card. And so I showed them the AI agent in ChatGPT. I said, look, give me your list of people, the first names only. So I got all the first names. I said, write a thank you card for the wedding gift that the following people on the list gave. Do one individual thank you card for each one, stating to all of them, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you being there. And thank you for being part of our special day. And then poof, boom, it provided it. I go, now go to every single card and add something unique about them that's unique, because you're happy that everyone came. You did appreciate that everyone was there and celebrate your special day. So saying that on all of them is fine. But go in there and say, Martha, doing that dance to the Macarena was hysterical, especially when I felt my butt. That memory will stay with me forever. Thank you for being with me that day. And then the rest is, and they were able to customize all those things. And it took them probably a third of the time that it would have if they had to write out and repeat the same verbiage on certain parts. Like, you're going to say, thank you for coming to our wedding on every single card. Why do you need to, worry about that? Let AI just fill that in so that it flows easier and saves you some time. And then when you can fill in the other stuff, you're not wasting the time trying to do it. Your mind's not tired of writing it all out, scratching it out. Now that doesn't sound right. You got some good things quickly. You're able to edit it and then add your personal touch. That I think it gives me more time to think about you when I write about you. Because if you're the 25th letter, I'm like, yeah, it was great seeing you. Thanks for coming by. I'm like, I'm tired of thinking, because I've been doing it so much. So there's again, use it as a tool to help you expedite it, but use it to give you more time for that human touch.
Absolutely. Now, what are your thoughts on that? Going back to the conversation on human-centered selling with folks that are using AI as their personal assistant, right? Who's creating content to sell their product.
I would tell them that you might as well be throwing a net to catch saltwater fish in a man-made pond, because you'll never catch anything. To me, people see through the AI as that initial thing. I think as far as sending out communication, that's fine. But first contact, as far as, outside of you being a phone system that I call and it says, okay, how can I direct your call? Hit 1 for sales, 2 for HR. Okay, I don't care about that. But when I have a problem, I need a human being a lot of times. And I think that AI is a good thing for selling as far as follow-up, reminders to check on them, sending out a reminder emails. Hey, just a simple email from us checking on you. Let us know if you have any questions. We hope you have a great holiday weekend. I'm fine with AI writing a letter to all our clients saying that. That's just a little it's a PSA thing. But when AI starts off the process, you're going to lose a lot more people because of the lack of that human-centered approach.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nobody wants to talk to a robot, or they want to talk to a human being. I know that I do. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten those phone calls when you say hello and there's that long pause and you immediately know that it's an AI robocall or a scammer or a sale? And I'm like, click every time.
Yeah.
So a human will respond much quicker. Like, hi, how are you?
But I'm finding also I'm finding like in healthcare, for example, I make calls on a national level. So I'm finding that healthcare systems are using AI. And thankfully, you can still press number 0 to get a live person. But I hope that doesn't go away because
I think there'll be less people to answer 0 when someone hits it, but I think that will never go away because they're always going to need someone that doesn't, because there's people who just I know people that hit 0 right away. And I'm like, you don't know, people have changed representative to like 9 or other numbers sometimes.
Well, yeah, let's go to the comments, Felipe, because there's some really good stuff that's coming in. Leslie said acknowledging people for who they are for you means so much. And AI's not gonna do that for you. Nope.
But go ahead.
Oh yeah, and if you know Leslie, she does a fantastic job at spotlighting the people that she knows on her live shows. So check her out and you will see. And I mean, Leslie, I want to thank you and give you your flowers because it really is heartwarming to hear you speak about each of the people that you've gotten to know and to share the goodness that they bring to the world. Go ahead, Felipe.
No, I'll just say that some people might think that Leslie is AI because of how much she knows about people, but it's because she cares and she shows up and she also supports them by promoting what they do. So it's like I said before, when I said earlier that I knew all 500 employees that worked in the hotel, it wasn't because I was bragging. I don't have the best memory in the entire world. I don't have an eidetic memory by any means. It was because I got to know them, just like Leslie has. I mean, you think about people like when I first did a show in front of a friend of mine and we were saying hello to people in the chat like we normally do. He's like, how do you know everyone that's commenting? I'm like, this is my community. This is my LinkedIn fam, and I've known them for years. And it's hard not to say hello to them because it'd be like seeing you walk by me and I ignored you. I wouldn't ignore you. And so I think there's a huge thing. Now, what Meryl said was the environmental damage being brought by AI is already happening rapidly as they're energy vampires, causing our electricity rates to skyrocket. Plus, the largest AI data center in the U.S. is under construction in Fairfax County, Virginia. Oh, crap, that's by my place. Virginia, DMV. Thank you so much, Meryl. I feel so much safer now. Thank you for ending the show on such a positive.
How far is that from you?
Fairfax, about 25 minutes. That's it. I'm glad the rest of you all are safe. I hope I'm back here in 2 weeks or next weekend. We'll see. But no, thank you for that information, Meryl, because I was wondering why that was an environmental issue, and I can see, and the usage of it's only going to go up. People are using it more and more and more. So I can see why that could be a huge environmental issue now. Thank you for answering that question. And what did Melanie Richards say? I needed to remove 3 credit freezes and locks to pick up a new phone from bots to helpful humans. It took 1.5 hours on 4 phone calls. Oh my God. And that's why people think that the technology is going to make their company more efficient and their service more efficient. Look, I've been at call centers where we have automated things. I'm telling you, the only way to do it is to give people the option. That's how you're not going to get the complaints. Would you like to go through the chat bot on the website, or would you like to call us in person, or do you want to call us through the chat bot and talk to a person on video? When you give people the options, their chances of complaining reduce dramatically, and they get to choose the service they want. And I think that's the key thing is, if you're trying to sell effectively in this world and have it be human-centric, here are my final thoughts about this. Humans are different. So give them different options. Martha, any final thoughts?
Yeah. Well, my final thoughts is Jay in the back room somewhere? I
know. I was hoping he'd show up for May the 4th on Monday. I wore this for Jay. I want everyone to remember this. I wore this for Jay. Jay, if you're watching this video, this was for you.
Where is Jay? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was hoping he was here with us so we could see him, see his May the 4th be with you.
I may wear this tomorrow on my show with Melissa Houston tomorrow morning, and so hopefully he'll join us there.
Okay.
But so what are you going up, and what are your last thoughts?
My last thoughts are.
Well, I'm sure, what's that, Gregory?
You have a Triple C event tomorrow, Careers, Chaos, and Coaching? Okay.
Yes. Sorry, Martha. Go ahead, Martha.
Yeah, so my last thoughts on this conversation is I want to get to know you. Don't approach me and sell. Let's talk. Let's get to know each other, and we'll see how things go from there. Okay, that is my thoughts on this conversation. And then AI, I'm still a work in progress with AI. Oh, I see Jay in the comments. He says, "I love your shirt and congratulations on your YouTube."
Thank you. Oh yeah, so robots for surgery. Okay, you know what? I'm not fully against that. I'm not saying for full, like, have the robot go in there and do the full surgery, but having some robotics to help the doctor and assist the doctor during surgery, why not? If it's been proven and tested, and there's less error than a human, fidgeting, maybe. Who knows? I mean, it has to be tried and tested, but I know that data analysis with AI in the medical field has helped out tremendously. I think again, with everything else, you gotta be careful and keep the human centric. I'm sorry, no AI is gonna give me the bedside manner that I want from a human. No way in hell is that ever gonna happen.
Yep.
Are they now? If I want something fast, like I want my orange juice like 10 hours ago, AI robot, can you go get it fast? Sure, I'll ask the AI robot for that because I want efficiency and quickness. So give us options. All right. Well, listen, Martha, do you have anything coming up you wanted to share?
I don't have anything coming up, but I do. Just check me out on LinkedIn. I am posting regularly. If you can support, there is a GoFund going on that's active for one of our community members here on LinkedIn. So if you can support, all proceeds go directly to them. They don't come to us. So please support if you can.
Aww.
Thank you.
Does it go to my wallet? Okay.
Nope.
And Joel, do you have anything coming up?
This week, no. I'm just trying to find the next guest for my podcast, which I used to do with Mac. But hey, if anyone here wants to come on, then message me on LinkedIn, comment, maybe message me because I don't always find the comments after the live show.
And remind people the name of your podcast.
Fighting for the Right to Party, no affiliation with the Beastie Boys.
I'm sorry, that's the affiliation of why I like your podcast, is because when I first heard about it, I'm like, I love that song. So I definitely, it drew me to you because of that, I'll be honest. So well done on that. All right, for me, I have a few things I want to share real quick. First and foremost, I try not to boast or promote any post I've recently done, unless I did it for somebody else. Then I have no problem doing it. So if you are looking to support nonprofits out there, go check out the video I did about this cookbook here, Transformation Kitchen. Jason Forehand, who is in the comments here, got a team together of cooks and chefs to put a number of recipes in here. He also had Nick Engai, the publisher, who's also here, published the book. I'm not a chef, and I only cook a handful of things decently. So I said I would try and do one of my silly cooking videos that I've done in the past in the workplace. So I made some paella, and it turned out really good. And I'm giving credit to the recipe because I'm not guaranteed that my dishes are going to come out good. So, Jason, if you're still in the chat, put the link to the link that goes direct. All the money goes directly to the nonprofit, because the Amazon link that's in my post, not as much money goes to the nonprofit. A little bit more goes to Amazon. So there's two different links that you can use, but definitely check it out, the video, so you can learn more about it and see how easy. If any of you cooked paella before, you know that typically it's a long process. Y'all, this took me 40 minutes to make. And my mother liked it. My mother is not a snob about many things, but paella, she's pretty snobbish because she makes damn good paella. She liked this. So it was quick, easy, and it was fun and kudos to Chef Chuck Sensone, who wrote the actual recipe for that. I have been waiting many decades to learn how to make paella for my mother. She never taught me. Chef Chuck did. Now, if you want to see me learning how to make empanadas, check out the YouTube video of my mother teaching me to make empanadas. That was good too. Other than that, I have tomorrow, as I mentioned, Careers, Chaos, and Coaching at 11 a.m. Eastern with Melissa Houston, and we're doing a Ask Us Anything. We are putting ourselves out there, open. It can be about your career. It can be about leadership. It can be about coaching teams. It can be about anything related. We are open books, so feel free and ask us those tough questions. We are going to do our best to provide you with insightful answers, and we look forward to you all joining us tomorrow. And then I'll be back here next Saturday with this amazing crew. And then the Monday after that, I have the Workplace Wellness Hour, where we have a special guest who has, I believe she has a PhD, but she is a professional in neurology, or I'm sorry, not neurology, forgive me, neurodiversity. And so she'll be talking about that in the workplace. And so look more for that on a week from Monday. Other than that, we'll be back here next Saturday with Mac and Marsha.
Yeah, it's Marsha, yep.
And Joel, and hopefully maybe some other people, we'll see. But thank you all for joining us. You all make this Social Saturday always so wonderful. Gregory, thank you for coming up here and giving us that view from the stadium. It's always fun to share that. And thank you all for the wonderful comments you shared and the insights. We appreciate your engagement, and we'll see you next week. Adios, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.